A very good evening to you once again. Thank you so much for tuning in to UBC TV and welcome to our second edition of News Tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. President Oyam Museveni has today resumed official work as head of state a day after confirming that he has recovered from COVID-19. President Museveni, who has been under self-isolation at Kasese State Lodge after testing positive for COVID-19 11 days ago, today traveled to State House in Tere and chaired the cabinet meeting. He was in company of First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni.
Number 4, the executive order number.
UBC News Tonight. Security officials have confirmed the arrest of 20 individuals who are suspected to have collaborated with the ADF rebels in the attack of St. Peter Hunter Secondary School in Kasese district. This heinous attack resulted into a tragic loss of at least 42 lives. However, there are concerns regarding the whereabouts of several students who were abducted by the rebels during the raid.
Preliminary investigations into the attack on St. Peter's Hunter Secondary School in Impondwe, Rubira Town Council, Kasese district, point to premeditated planning involving the collaboration of certain community members. 20 residents have been arrested for their involvement in facilitating the raid.
We are getting information that there were suspected collaborators within the area who could have aided them, into the whole process. So we are looking at all those situations. But security, however advanced, is never watertight. You will always get such isolated incidents. But it's unfortunate that we have 42 lives that were lost.
The school, situated approximately 1.5 kilometers away from the Congo-Uganda border, was targeted on Friday night. The assailants employed firearms, machetes, and petrol-improvised explosives to carry out the destructive act.
The 17 burnt bodies were male, and the burns were distributed all over the body, the front, the back. And one of the victims had an additional gunshot wound, which means they shot at him while inside the dormitory before they burnt it. Another one had dry flames. We don't want to say that, yes, we are there to be blamed and so on and so forth. The fact remains that that place is quite vulnerable. It's just about 1.5 kilometers.
Through postmortem examinations, the DNA of 23 deceased individuals has been identified and bodies handed over to respective families for burial arrangements.
Out of the 42 who died, 37 were students. So far, 25 bodies have been examined on post-mortem at Wera Hospital. 23 have been handed over to the immediate friends, relatives, guardians. We still have 2 bodies that have been identified, but the relatives have not claimed them as yet.
The exact number of captives and missing students remain uncertain at this time. The school's headmaster and other administrators are currently undergoing interrogation regarding the incident.
Even come out with the number of suspected abducted students, because there is still conflict. There are those who are saying 5, others are saying 7, but the school is trying to harmonize with the team of investigators. The actual, based on the list of enrollment, 20 arrests have been made of suspected collaborators, suspected ADF collaborators. We also have the head teacher and the director of school as part of our inquiries. They need to give us answers to certain questions.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces, UPDF, and other security agencies have initiated community engagement efforts while closely scrutinizing potential collaborators associated with the ADF, aiming to counteract their terrorist activities. Abdul Nasiri Lubwama and Komagum Rogers for UBC.
In a devastating incident that has left residents of Kasese in shock, Mpondwe Lubiriha Secondary School was attacked, resulting in the tragic loss of 39 students and 3 others. Ivan Kahwa reports from Kasese, where locals recount the horrifying situation after silence disguised as soldiers instilled fear within the community. As the hunt goes on for the criminals intensifies, border security remains heightened.
Residents of Nyabugando, Kasese district are still recovering from the shock of the attack on Mpondwe Lubiriha Secondary School, where 39 students and 3 others were killed on June 16, 2023. The atmosphere remains tense and locals have abandoned their homes.
But I also ran. Na mimi nilikimbia.
Wewe hujaogopa?
Mimi naogopa. Mimi nakuja. Mimi nafanya kufika. Yeah.
Sasa hivi unalala saa 2 ya usiku?
Hapana, mimi naenda saa 12.
Initially mistaken for genuine soldiers on patrol, the attackers were the assailants.
Are you able to describe to us, the people you saw, how they were dressed and how they were looking like?
These people were dressed actually in uniforms, but we couldn't recognize their badges because they were putting on coats. You know how coats of those soldiers look like, they are of the same color. They're only one color, dark color.
It was in army green. It was in army green.
Or like the one of the soldiers?
It was an army green in plain.
Like the one of LDU?
Yes, yes, even if it was night, but we saw them.
In one neighborhood, a person was fatally attacked with a log, while a drug shop was targeted, but was inaccessible to the assailants.
They could say that let us climb and we drop inside.
After looting food items, the attackers escaped to DR Congo via River Rubiriha, killing 2 and kidnapping 2 children.
I lost 2 members of my family, my mom, the original mom, and the biological brother, which is my elder brother. And they took my children, 2 boys, and they cut the wife of the deceased, which is now still at the hospital.
Tembo Lazarus, a resident familiar with the topography of the area, joined the Uganda People's Defence Forces on a rescue mission.
We took off here with the around 42 soldiers, and myself inclusive. Yes.
So you used this specific, you crossed via this river?
We followed exactly, we passed where there were footmarks, not until we reached that point.
So on the account of locals from this area where children were attacked at Mpondwe Lubiriha Secondary School, they have managed to take us to where they believe these alleged ADF combatants did flee Uganda. And this is River Rubiriha, believed to be one of the porous border points where crossing easily between the 2 countries is much more easier. As the locals were leading us to this specific river, we did find a military attire kind of cloth. And in the look of things, this is a UPDF uniform. However, when I did cross to the other side of Congo, we also identified some of the clothes that are believed to have been dropped by those who are fleeing after attacking students in this side of Uganda.
This place, it is a place where our soldiers do stay, of this uniform. I cannot be specific whether it is the rebels used this uniform, but the exhibits we found where they slept was a uniform of Congo.
The one for FADAC?
Yeah, the one for FADAC.
Recent reports indicate that some of the deceased children were not enrolled at Mpondwe Lubiriha Secondary School, raising questions about their presence during the attack.
The director went and borrowed
went and borrow students from other different schools, or he can convince you and you come that day where the visitors will, when the visitors will reach. Then their target, we thought his target was the visitor to come and find children in the school.
But now there is some information, all that information we have heard, even what you are saying, that the director was a collaborator. Security officers have already got that information. They will find out. Because now people are talking so many things. Even at night our phones don't rest.
UPDF security personnel have reinforced border security to apprehend the criminals as they locate the missing children. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kasese district.
Pope Francis has condemned the brutal attack on the students in a school in western Uganda and prayed for the victims. During his Angelus prayers at St. Peter's Square in the city of Vatican, Pope Francis also prayed for the end to such wars and conflicts. Meanwhile, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, African Union and UNICEF have also condemned the attack on innocent students.
The world will remember the innocent students of Lubirira Secondary School in Kasese district who were massacred by Allied Democratic Rebel Forces last Friday, 16th of June. Members of the international community have condemned the attack. During his prayer at St. Peter's Square in Vatican, Pope Francis prayed for the student victims.
He also prayed for the children who were attacked by armed rebels known as ADF in Uganda, Western Uganda. 41 people were killed, and praying for an end to these wars.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in a statement extended condolences and sympathy to the grieving families and demanded for the immediate release of the abducted learners.
As UNICEF, we implore and demand the immediate safe return of these young lives. We send our deepest condolences and sympathy to the grieving families, friends of the deceased, who bear the unbearable pain of the senseless act. We also extend our unwavering solidarity and support to the students, the teaching staff, the support staff, the families affected, and the people of Uganda. We appeal to the attackers to respect schools as a safe environment for all learners, and also to respect the child rights of learners who have come to school to study and explore their potential to fulfill their dreams.
In another statement, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, on June 17th expressed condolences to the families of the victims and reiterated the need for an urgent holistic regional approach to address the threat by negative forces operating from the DRC. The Executive Secretary of the International Authority on Development, Dr. Wokne Gebeyehu in Djibouti, also extended heartfelt condolences to the families. He says IGAD remains dedicated to fostering cooperation and collaboration among its member states.
High Court Criminal Division has confirmed charges of kidnap and murder of Susan Magara against 9 accused persons. However, the accused have maintained their plea of not guilty.
The accused persons in the case include Lubega Yusuf, Waswa Hussein, Salimu Zamil, Chewoli Abubeka, Chisalita Mahad, Kato Hassan Miro, Bokenya Ismail, and Buvumbo Musa Abbas. Before Judge Alex Ajiji, court read the preferred charges against them. They all pleaded not guilty to the alleged offences.
Muvunani wa musango ebiri naye ogusooka gwa kuwamba muntu nga mune ekigenda ky'okumufunamu akasente okusobola okumuta.
Bukenya Ismail and Buvumbo Musa Abbas and the others at large on the 27th day of February 2018 at Kigo.
Omusango gw'okubiri ogw'obuvunaanibwa gwakuta muntu naye nga kigambibwa nti mwenga mwakwatibwa n'abalala tannabakwatibwa mwatta Susan Magara.
Prosecution represented by Irene Nachimbugwe asked court for 1 month to present evidence against the accused, which court granted. The court assessors in this matter will be Brenda Magoba and Johnny Musana. However, one of the suspects, Salimu Zamini, informed court of the torture which was inflicted on them by security operatives during and after arrest. Judge Alex Ajiji adjourned the case to 28th July 2023 to kickstart with the hearing of the case. The accused have been remanded to Luzira Government Prison. Susan Magara, 28-year-old cashier, went missing on 7th January 2018. Thereafter, her body was discovered dumped in Chigo off Entebbe Expressway. Meanwhile, Geoffrey Tuliamusima has discontinued representing the accused Yusuf Nyanzi, one of the accused in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala, murder of his daughter Brenda Nantong and driver Aruna Kayondo.
And because we failed to agree on principle, especially in regards to advice from the client, from the lawyer to the client. As such, I've informed court that because of miscommunication and misconduct from my client, I will not be able to proceed representing him.
Court has replaced Tuliamusima with Sylvia Namaweje, who is now Yusuf Nyanzi's lawyer. Now Geoffrey Tuliamusima is remaining with only 7 accused persons. He is giving legal representation in this matter. Judge Alice Muhanjikauka adjourned the case to 23rd June 2023 for further pre-trial.
He states that he was surprised to see him introducing himself to court as his lawyer. He also states that this court had previously assigned to him another lawyer in the names of Miss Sylvia Namaweje on state brief, who had even interviewed him. And he had never informed this court in that regard. However, that notwithstanding, since Ed2 states that he no longer wants counsel Tuliamusima, and counsel also says that he can no longer represent Ed2 because of his misconduct and disrespect, clearly the two are in disagreement and they cannot proceed together on this matter.
Prosecution in this case is represented by Lilian Omala. The accused persons in this case who have been remanded to Luzira Government Prison are Serubora Hussein, Nyanzi Yusuf, Kagugube Muhammad, Walusimbi Kamada, Chisambira Serimani Ayubu, Abduraziz Ramadan Dunku, Abib Ramadan Majan, and Wampa Kuzaifa. Deborah Nama Monde, Susan Nabogode, UBC News.
Leaders have been advised to embrace teamwork to effectively serve their people. This was at a function where the Lions Club of Kampala changed leadership.
The new Lions Club of Kampala president and board has been installed with an appeal to work towards promoting club targets. The event was graced by Deputy Mayor Rashida Nanyonga, who represented the Mayor of Kira Municipality.
When you look at Shira in a unique way, we are under the Greater Kampala Metropolitan. This is Shira, which is the dormitory for all the big people, the MPs and everyone, the civil servants reside here in Shira. So most of the work you do, you attribute it to Shira. And whatever you do to our people, that is what makes us the best municipality. So we appreciate you at all levels for that tremendous work you do to our people.
Robert Munanura, the Assistant Commissioner Uganda Prison Service, who is also a minded member of the Lions Club International, says teamwork is a key for the success of any leadership.
The more we get committed to doing what we are supposed to do, the better. And that is really my remarks, that we must encourage each other, that we are not putting resources and time to waste. We are putting it for the development of our communities. It therefore excites me when I see members from other clubs and there is a new wave. It's like the other wave of politics. But I'm liking the wave of other presidents and other members of coming to other installations and joining you.
The new leaders included the host president and board, who promised to serve willingly as per the club's targets.
Serving Lionism, it is voluntary. So I'd like to thank you for accepting to join this board to work with me I believe such a strong team will take this club to other levels.
The outgoing president Lillian Atwine expressed gratitude that her team had achieved 95% of the set targets.
We were able to host the DG successfully on her official club visit. On district activities, we joined other Lions of Uganda to host the international past president, Alexander, and participated in nearly all the...
The new president, Charles Tujuche, pledged to retain and uphold the networks of the club.
Under service activities, we are planning to have at least one service activity every month. And our appeal to you as board is that each of us as a member should take interest in providing service. Once we pray that we should work like ants. The ants which build that anthill, one cannot do that anthill. But if they put it because of numbers, because of like small contributions, create that anthill.
The managing director of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Agaba, also member of the Lions Club Kampala, pledged UBC's support towards the club activities.
And we shall endeavor to give you coverage as much as we can.
Marcia Kankwasa and Andrew Sebira for UBC.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erunganisibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Attention coffee farmers, traders and processors. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has important advice for a successful harvest season. Pick only red farm cherries to achieve good weight and high quality coffee. For natural processing, dry coffee on tarpaulin, concrete or clothing to avoid mold growth. Avoid heaping coffee on the floor. Store coffee in jute bags and in ventilated rooms on wooden pallets. For more information on good harvest practices, visit your nearest extension worker or Uganda Coffee Development Authority offices.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates back to ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
The land take for development of Tilenga, Kingfisher, and East Africa crude oil pipeline projects
in Uganda is approximately 6,900 acres, with close to 10,000 project-affected persons. The compensation process involves an inclusive and participatory resettlement action plan study that provides for cash payment, physical resettlement, and livelihood improvement packages for the affected persons. 90% of all the project-affected persons have been fully compensated. 200 replacement houses have been constructed and handed over. Communities are also engaged in vocational skills, agriculture, financial literacy programs, employment, and contracting opportunities to improve their livelihoods and grow community content. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Family, friends, and relatives and in-laws have thronged the home of former NRA Bush War historical retired Colonel Jack Muchunguzi to mourn his untimely death. Muchunguzi succumbed to liver cancer at Nakasero Hospital on Sunday, where he had been hospitalized battling with Uganda's silent killer disease.
The death of retired Colonel Jack Muchunguzi was confirmed by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa on his Twitter handle. The late Muchunguzi was one of the original 27 NRA bush fighters who converged in Matthew Ruchikaira's home situated in Machindye on 3 February 1981 to plan the guerrilla war before launching the first attack on Kabamba. On 6 February 1981, Muchunguzi was one of the 41 group members armed with only 27 guns who stormed the Kabamba military barracks with an intention of securing ammunitions to start their 5-year protracted struggle to overthrow the UPC government of former President Dr. Apple Milton Obote. Muchunguzi was charged with the responsibility to command the Abdal Nasser unit during the NRA war.
Last night, we were told by General Joram Mugume, retired General Joram Mugume, that Jack was the first commander of one of the units in the army, where actually even the chairman of the High Command, the current president of Uganda, General Oyam North, was.
Muchunguzi was my brother-in-law. He was a brother to my wife for 42 years, and he's the one who followed her immediately. So during the Bush War, when the Bush War was ending, he came to Nairobi and stayed with me, and we came together when the government was taking power, this NRM.
However, at the time of his death, retired Colonel Jack Muchunguzi was grappling with liver cancer.
After several consultations, the family and the support of everyone, including the President of the Republic of Uganda, came in quickly, and it was decided that we take him outside Africa for further treatment. He was taken to Italy and diagnosed same condition, and it was decided that they give him treatment, and he comes back and takes that treatment. After about a week on treatment, things did not go well for him. He started deteriorating, was taken to Nakasero Hospital, but unfortunately he succumbed to the cancer of the liver.
Monday morning, family, relatives, friends and in-laws had converged at his residence along Rochester Avenue in Chambogo. In a somber mood, we found them mourning the death of a man who sacrificed his life for 5 years in the bush to bring the ruling NRM government to power.
They emulate that sense of commitment to their country. Love your country, love your friends, love your family. And that's what Jack did. And I'm sure they are going to miss him on that.
He was always doing his things in a very fast way, and that same applies to me. Very frank person. What you saw is what you took. He would tell you things as is.
There will be a vigil at the late Muchung's home in Chambogo this evening, and a funeral service in memory of the late will be conducted at All Saints Cathedral, Nakasar, on Tuesday. Thereafter, the body will leave for his ancestral home in Renjero Bihari in Imbara City, where he will be laid to rest on Wednesday. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Uganda is set to nationally celebrate the World Sickle Cell Day on Thursday, the 22nd of June 2023, under the theme Home and Hospital Care at the Ministry of Health premises. While speaking to Dr. Charles Chiyaga, the Sickle Cell Programs Coordinator at the Ministry of Health, he asserted that this year's celebration drives at minimizing the numbers of sickle cell patients that visit hospitals through focusing on improvement of the health care at home.
Sickle cell anemia has taken an average portion of newborn babies. Before 2015, about 20,000 to 25,000 equivalent to 80% of the babies born annually had sickle cell anemia. Then the 2015 National Sickle Cell Survey revealed high rates of sickle cell anemia in the country, which prompted government to create awareness through celebrating the World Sickle Cell Day.
So a lot has happened. I may not have real numbers, but I can assure you there has been a lot of improvement. Before, the estimates are that each year we have 20 to 25,000 babies born with sickle cell disease each year. But before we started interventions, the estimates were that by 5 years, 80% are dead. But since we started intervention, that has changed. Okay? And we will be able to document that. We are yet to do a thorough survey around this to have the figures to document, but from program data, from program work, we are seeing that has reduced. What was like 80% has gone down. I think we are somewhere around 50% or so, but we will keep reducing until when we come to a point that we don't have to lose people to sickle cell. Somebody with sickle cell disease can grow normally like any other person and contribute to society.
This year's theme targets at improving inclusive accessibility to medical services at a patient's convenience to lessen the crisis in hospitals.
Home care is not going to reduce the numbers born to sickle cell disease. No. But home care is going to improve care of these patients so that you avoid crisis, you avoid being in hospital all the time. So that's what it's going to do. But we are working also with the technology companies to develop better tools, better diagnostic tests, simple, cheap, and accessible, so that we can have a real policy on premarital testing and counseling. Because it can't be very firmly grounded when people cannot access the testing wherever they are, okay? And when it is still very expensive.
Prior to the year 2015, Uganda had only one sickle cell clinic at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Currently, several clinics have been opened in high-burden regions of Lango, Acholi, Busoga, Bugweri, and Teso. Marion Awori, UBC.
The Hunger Project has undergone an evolution, incorporating climate conservation programs in its mission to achieve a world without hunger. After 46 years, the organization has shifted its focus towards addressing the underlying factors that contribute to hunger in communities.
The previous vision of the Hunger Project centered on ending hunger and poverty through the development of sustainable, women-centered strategies. This was accomplished by advocating for the widespread adoption of mechanisms aimed at eradicating hunger.
We went ahead to pioneer grassroots women-centered approaches that were basically putting people into their power, giving them back their power to be able to understand that the issue of hunger can be solved, and the person suffering from hunger actually has the best solution. So help shouldn't come from outside, it shouldn't come through relief aid, but they themselves, if they really understood their power and the potential they had, then that would be able to do what? To transform them. They will be able to transform themselves. So for the last 46 years, we've been moving on this vision and the mission.
Under the new vision of World Without Hunger, the project has adopted new principles that prioritize countering the factors that facilitate hunger.
Actually, now we are refocusing our energies to addressing now the core issues that are affecting hunger. Because if you look at 1977 and now to 2023, the issues are, the world has evolved, so many things have happened.
Technology is also growing. Means of production also are changing. But two, why we are optimistic in the hunger project is that they are not a relief agents. So I'm really very sure that the trend now we are taking of women economic empowerment, mindset change is a shift in the paradigm.
This evolution aims to integrate climate change and other environment-related factors into the campaign against hunger.
But now we are saying we want a world without hunger. And when we say what a world without hunger, we also cognizant that of the so many factors that are affecting creating hunger. And these factors are not only human related, but if you're not in harmony with nature, if you're not in harmony with the environment, all these things affect us. If you're not taking care of the environment, then the environment will also do what? Not support our production systems.
Farmers, when they organize themselves, they collectively bargain, and they are able to add value also to what they have. And
the declarations by the project present an opportunity to re-evaluate existing approaches and embrace innovative ways of working, while also encouraging active participation from community partners. Abdul Nasser Lobwama for UBC.
Embracing dialogue as opposed to sanctions against fighters is one of the most favorable factors towards ending conflict and generation of refugees. Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, encourages refugees whose countries are now secure to return home.
They are scattered almost everywhere in the East and the Horn of Africa. Yet, refugees equally need to have a life to live, something interrupted by unrest in their countries of origin. One such country is South Sudan. Some of the refugees originating from there are living in Uganda.
Whenever there is a misunderstanding, people should not pick up arms, but should engage themselves in dialogues and then come up with what is in the best interest of the public.
This was during World Refugee Day in 2022 in Adjumani district. A peace agreement to unite all fighting armies in South Sudan had just been signed. The country's citizens, displaced within the neighborhood, were anxious.
That agreement was signed for distribution of positions, not to address challenges facing community.
Nearly 1 year later, the agreement has yielded results. The army is now united.
There is no more armies in the Republic of South Sudan. It is only one. We call it South Sudan People Defense Forces now.
Just the other day, precisely on Friday, IGAD and East African Community countries were closing a 4-day conference in Kampala. It was aimed at finding durable solutions to refugee situations. Some of the messages encouraged refugees whose countries were now peaceful to return home.
Our record shows that since the signing of this agreement, over 600 people of our citizens have returned home spontaneously.
We urge countries hosting Rwandan refugees to continue mobilizing them for return.
This is the similar message that Uganda's Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees has been preaching.
Rwanda is peaceful.
really their citizens are free to go back. South Sudan has now become relatively peaceful, and a number of their refugees, over 80,000 Sudanese refugees, have gone back to their countries. And I think as peace continues in their country, more and more will go back.
Majority of refugees living in Uganda are from South Sudan. As the globe moves to celebrate World Refugee Day, both ministers agree that South Sudan is now secure.
All these people ran away because of instability and insecurity. Since there's no all these issues, then we are now calling back our refugees and our people who have sought refuge because of the conflict to go back to their homes.
Peace is the first and foremost agenda that should be tackled in their countries so that their people feel safe. And then other opportunities then will follow. And definitely without peace you cannot do anything. Our country has been able to prosper during this period because we are in peace.
Minister Onek wants more dialogue to ensure total peace.
Sanctions, unless we talk about armed sanctions, reducing on armed sales, but otherwise economic sanctions and other form of punishment may only make situation worse, because that would be a confrontation to somebody who might be even ignorant of what they are doing.
As for South Sudan, the quest for permanent peace is on, with general elections as a possible avenue scheduled for December 2024.
The Uganda Technology and Management University, UTAMU, celebrated a momentous occasion as it proudly conferred diplomas upon 50 students from Sierra Leone. The graduating class consisted of individuals who had successfully completed the rigorous postgraduate diploma in monitoring, project planning and evaluation certificate programs.
The commencement ceremony held in Kampala was attended by esteemed faculty members and distinguished guests. The event served as a testament to UTAMU's commitment to providing quality education and fostering academic excellency.
The most important thing that I have observed during this session is the ability of Africans to think inwards and seek out for knowledge from within. The trainees from Sierra Leone would have chosen to go to the West, but they clearly understood that the problems that are African in nature can only be solved by Africans themselves.
The Diploma in Monitoring, Project Planning and Evaluation is a specialized program designed to equip students with the skills and knowledge required to effectively monitor and evaluate projects for optimal outcomes.
And we are blessed that Uganda Technology and Management University has professional staff with extensive knowledge in the area of project planning and management, monitoring and evaluation, which is one of the needs they had in order to help them minimize project failures and improve on project monitoring and evaluation.
The curriculum encompasses a comprehensive range of topics, including project management principles, evaluation techniques, and data analysis. The Vice Chancellor of UTAMU expressed his delight at the successful completion of the program by the Sierra Leone students. He commended their dedication, hard work, and commitment to learning.
I appeal to the graduates to use the knowledge that they have acquired and be able to apply the experience, the practical aspects they have had at Uganda Technology and Management University to minimize project failure and effective implementation of the projects that they are involved in.
The graduates were grateful to UTAMU for providing a transformative educational experience. They highlighted the practicality and relevance of the program to their professional aspirations and the development needs of Sierra Leone.
We are going back home with pool of knowledge which we're going to share with our colleagues, and I believe it's going to help us to improve on our performance. By extension, we're going to give good service to humanity, not only to the people of Sierra Leone, but to all Africans.
The graduation of Sierra Leone students strengthens ties between UTAMU and Uganda. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Electoral Commission has nominated 4 candidates to contest for the Oyam North seat following the death of the late retired Colonel Charles Okello Engola. Nominated today included candidates representing UPC, FDC, NRM and the NUP.
The journey to replace former State Minister for Labour, Employment and Industrial Relations, late Colonel Charles Okello Engola, has begun with the nomination of candidates.
So congratulations once again.
Seated at Oyam District Council Hall, the Electoral Commission verified and nominated 4 candidates on the first day. First to appear was UPC's Eunice Apio, flanked by her party president, Jimmy James Michael Akena.
We're very hopeful because in 2021 we came second, legislate for my people on the real issues that affect them directly.
And we're going to pursue this matter until the elections are concluded in the most peaceful and organized manner.
FDC's Newton Okello followed suit.
As FDC, we know we are living in captivity as citizens of this country, but we need to reclaim it, and reclaiming this country starts from the grassroots level.
That enough is enough. Ugandans is tired of state organs interfering in politics.
Samuel Junior Engola Okello, son to the late minister, was ushered in by the NRM Director for Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde.
Declare Engola Okello Samuel.
I would like to say the key priorities are in the manifesto of NRM. We are going to continue moving the manifesto of NRM, just like Papa did.
When a player gets injured, a Man U player is replaced by a Man U player. Because this was a football match of politics, an NRM person who died has to be replaced by an NRM person in order to deliver on the manifesto of the president.
As NRM walked out, National Unity Platform crowned the day. NUP is represented in the race by Daniel Okello.
I have taken keen interest in seeing that if people are healthy, then the development can come. The members of Parliament and the National Unity Platform, they have donated an ambulance to the people of Oyam District.
Electoral Commission applauded candidates and parties for a peaceful nomination process.
It's the same message we've told them to go back with, to conduct themselves in accordance with the campaign guidelines, so that we have a peaceful campaign process.
Tomorrow marks the last day for nomination of candidates for Oyam North by-election. Ediolwa, UBC News.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has completed 3 days pastoral work in Western Angoli Diocese.
During his visit to Western Uganda, Archbishop Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu made stops at several locations, including Bweranyanji Girls Senior Secondary School. The Archbishop visited and blessed the construction site for a chapel at Bweranyanji, which when complete will enable evangelization.
Prayer is that I'll be able to complete this project in a record time, so that next time when I return, we'll be able to worship
in this place. Thank you so much for your contribution towards this great school. My prayer is that whoever passes through this school will make an impact in the community like it has been already in the past.
He put a stone. Already there was a foundation stone put by the First Lady and an old girl, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, but His Grace has blessed this chapel construction project work, and he has put a stone in commemoration of this memorable moment in the history of the school. He has blessed this construction of the chapel, St. Paul's Chapel, Bweranyanji Girls Senior Secondary School.
The Archbishop then proceeded to Kitagata Archdeaconry, where he officiated opening of the Archdeaconry House, and climaxed at Rukondo Parish, where he opened a church specifically for children. Elsewhere, Christians at St. Stephen's Church of Uganda, Lutete Archdeaconry in Luwero Diocese have continued the fundraising to accomplish construction works for the main shed and half bricks cladding to the church building. Archdeacon Ebil Luwama lauds Buganda Kingdom for the land on which the church sits and urges Christians to donate to the construction cause.
We want to thank the Lord because even today in our number we have been few, but we have done some work to see that we raise the little money we have been able to raise. I still really continue to mobilize our people out there, the people of Lutete, the people, our children, the children of Lutete, and the people of Uganda to support on this work to see that this church is completed to the level that will bring glory to God.
Meanwhile, Luwero Senior Secondary School students have benefited from words of encouragement from Magara University lecturer Fred Kasalirwe, who graced the school's prom party.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. Best group is I teach you. When I go with the muscali, because of the cover that is very far. Is you serious? Is serious you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refuses to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga. Awamu teri kitulema.
UBC News Tonight. Uganda Airlines has operated its inaugural flight for the annual Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca, marking a significant milestone for the country. For the first time in over 4 decades, a Ugandan carrier has facilitated this sacred journey, instilling a sense of pride and joy in the hearts of the 200 Muslim pilgrims from various regions of Uganda. The flag-off ceremony was graced by government officials and Muslim leaders, including the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister, Lukia Nakadama, Minister for Works and Transport, Katumba Wamala, and the 1st Deputy Mufti, Sheikh Ali Waiswa.
The annual pilgrimage to Mecca has significance for Muslims worldwide, drawing participants to undertake pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina. The pilgrims at Entebbe Airport appreciated the opportunity to embark on the holy pilgrimage, made even more special by traveling on their own national carrier. Works and Transport Minister General Katumba Wamala emphasized the advantages the national carrier facilitating this pilgrimage.
What has been happening that our pilgrims have been going through transit routes. Sometimes they go through Khartoum. I think you even remember what happened when some of them were in Khartoum on the way to Mecca. But now this one's an opportunity for them to be able to travel directly And of course, the other advantage here is that you saw the pilgrims who are going. Some of them are elderly, some of them even language may be a problem. But now on the flight, they can be able to communicate in the local languages.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, acknowledged the significance of Uganda Airlines' involvement in this spiritual voyage.
To request them, when they reach there, they should pray for our country, they pray for our President, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. They pray for all of us, those who have been there and those who have not yet gone, so that they call all of us to go and do the Hajj, because it is one of the pillars of Islam.
The timing of this flight to Saudi Arabia aligns with Uganda Airlines' plans to launch commercial operations to Saudi Arabia.
Internally, we are grappling with when we should do it, because we are working with many stakeholders. But the interesting bit is that we already have an organization set up, a sales organization set up in Saudi. We have a general sales agent that is representing us in Jeddah. So we are doing everything towards the launch of flights.
The pilgrims expressed gratitude to Allah for this sacred journey.
ACOD, in partnership with CS BAG, UDN and the Finance Ministry, have organized a high-level policy dialogue on the budget with a focus on building economic resilience for inclusive growth. The event converged prominent stakeholders who shared their insights on budget implementation the coming financial year.
The parish development model was discussed in bringing the population into the money economy.
For us, it's very fundamental, because it seeks to bring 39% of our people into the money economy. If you have people who are 39% in subsistence economy, you cannot make progress. So for us, and serious money has been allocated that, and the challenge is going to be how we implement the parish development model very thoroughly so that we lift those people out of poverty.
Efforts to reduce deficit national budget financing by minimizing borrowing were also emphasized.
We have started to term what we call budget incrementalism, a tendency where each entity in government expected a higher budget every other passing year. That one we are terming it. Now, the winners in the budget have started to gain by taking from the losers. Somebody else must lose the money for another one to get it. This is intended to reduce borrowing. It's what was causing domestic borrowing to rise every year.
The 2023-24 fiscal year budget was noted as inclusive, targeting youth, enterprises, politicians, public servants and women. But there was a need to address leakages and corruption.
As you are aware, we have serious issues in the payroll. People are overpaid, underpaid, and also paid at different grades. We are glad that the audit is taking place and we look forward for the results. However, we want to ensure that those who are prosecuted for corruption, that their cases can be handled on time and justice is delivered.
Strategies to achieve key targets include a 6% growth rate, a GDP of $55 billion, and a debt-to-GDP ratio of 48.2% were discussed.
There were certain things which some of you were proposing us that we do, but we said no, that these proposals cannot lead us where we want to be. And I'm happy that now we are in this room when the prices have gone down and those things were not done.
And we said the government should not, we all agreed, and you all quarreled, I think government should be able to bring this fuel down and so on. Uganda, in case you didn't know, we use 6 million liters of petrol and diesel in 24 hours.
Wadulo Makanul, UBC News, in Kampala.
At least 30,000 Indians are in active business, with 1,340 out of 8,617 registered companies in the country, and contribute over $2 billion to the national coffers. They operate under the Indian Business Forum established in 2014, serving at least 500 top businesses in Uganda in manufacturing, mining, agriculture, health and other sectors.
Bakatiri, an audit firm, has convened Indians in business to understand the 2023-2024 national budget. This helps them understand the procedure on taxation and other outcomes thereafter.
Economies world over are still reeling from the aftershock of the COVID and geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine. All the economies across the world are still, struggling. Same is the case with the Ugandan economy as well, and hence the finance minister proposed that there will be no any additional new taxes, which he fulfilled by not introducing any additional taxes. All the amendments were of recharacterization.
The audit manager, Bakatili Solomon Okero, told the business partners to submit their tax queries to URA in time to avoid penalties.
The purpose of this budget breakfast is to highlight to the business community the different amendments and the overview of the current budget that was just read by the Minister, Honorable Kasese, on behalf of the President, and as to whether the budget really trickles down and answers the questions of the ordinary person rather than only the business community. So
the Secretary General, Indian Business Forum, Rajesh Kumar, noted that experts explain the budget clearly.
New tax implementation, for example, one or two examples is right. The vegetable and the fruits juice is going to be expensive, and beer is going to be cheaper. So some people must be happy who drinks alcohol. But overall, the government is trying to basically improve a boo-boo. And because of that, they have done some amendment in the tax.
Sudhir Kumar said that they are ready to work with government to boost the economy.
We are too busy in our businesses. We don't go through the whole booklet and everything. So these were the chapters which were amended, and we came to know that which are the amendments they have made and what effect it is going to happen on our businesses and what precautions we should take as in businessmen going forward in year 2023 and 2024.
Sudat Kaye and Richard Chirembeka, UBC News.
The Uganda Volleyball Federation has started the 5-day Federation of International Volleyball Level one coaching course. Our reporter John Band Sentamu has the details here.
A one-day Federation of International Volleyball Level 1 coaching course has started in Uganda with a tutorship from Slovakian instructor Matthew Skalny.
We are at FIVB coach. Of course, we want to show the players, coaches, new techniques from technical staff. We want to show all the information generally about the volleyball, physical conditions and stuff like that. And then at the end of the week, we will evaluate them, because this is a test, okay, also for them to get a certificate from FIVB.
Uganda Volleyball Federation targets improving its technical staff in the top Syria League in order to better players to meet international standards.
It's a course that is for both clubs and also for those who can be able to get into the national team coaching ranks.
This workshop has attracted more than 40 participants, with several from neighboring Kenya and Rwanda.
I'm by the name of Aimable Nkuranga from Rwanda. I'm a coach in a high school and came here to improve my skills in coaching. And for sure, by day one, we have covered planning session for training, how it's good to plan for any session of training, the importance of planning in training, and what should be in a plan of the training session.
I came here to do this course because in our country I've already done level 1 and 2, the national course. Now I came here to do the FIVB level 1 because we have young kids there who have talent and need to grow up.
I traveled the whole night, yesterday night, to this place,
I think we have had a warm welcome, and we are really appreciating Ugandans, the organizing team, and plus the FIVB instructor. And I think we are going to cope, and everything will be okay.
This coaching workshop has started with a theory at DNS Hotel Kampala, but will witness practical sessions at the neighboring Old Kampala Arena. John Barnes, Sentamu, UBC News.
Minister for Public Service Muruli Mukasa has underscored the role of sports in public performance. The minister was represented by the Commissioner for Human Resource Management in the Ministry of Public Service, Patrick Muhereza, at the opening of a one-week public service sports gala at Magara College School Sports Ground in Kampala.
As already introduced, my name is Patrick Muhereza. I'm a Commissioner of Human Resource Management from the Ministry of Public Service, and I'm representing the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Service, at this event. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this event where we are having the opening ceremony of the Africa Public Service Day Sports Gala. As the Minister of Public Service, we want to thank you very much for sparing time to come and participate in this year's gala. Your participation shows the dedication and the team spirit that you have as far as this activity is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that sports plays a very important part in any organization. First of all, sports helps to improve your health. It also helps to improve your fitness, and as a result, you are able to reduce on the risks of disease. Secondly, sports helps to improve on team spirit in any organization. As you participate from the different teams, from the different MDAs, you will be able to interact at different levels. The barriers in the different ministries will be broken through your participation in sports, and that will help to improve team spirit.
The Uganda Olympics Committee President Donald Rukare has vowed to involve schools to ensure learners are equipped with moral lessons about the Olympics.
Though many think sport is purely about competition to win, the Olympics offer far beyond that, with values like respect, friendship and fair play necessary in everyday life. It's the reason Uganda Olympic Committee is now determined to involve many schools to instill Olympic values that are also necessary for learners starting at an early age.
It's good to have these young people because we've been introducing them to the values of the Olympics, respect, friendship and excellence, but also they got to meet an Olympian, Jamila, and basically inspire them. So they came here to visit us, and we thank them for doing that. And this is part of promoting Olympism, which is one of the mandates of the Olympic Committee. And we look for these young minds that we see here. He wants to do tennis, swimming at the Olympics. So we look forward to them representing their respective countries, Uganda and others, in the Olympics. So it has been a good opportunity.
The latest to benefit from such an initiative are learners from Kampala Community International School that have, as part of their education obligation, visited the Uganda Olympic Committee.
For the last 6 weeks, the students have been learning about the Olympics, both in geography and in history, learning about the ancient Olympics, comparing it to the modern Olympics, also learning about the Paralympics, and to be able to come here to meet with Dr. Dom, to meet with Jamila, a real-life Olympian athlete, is of huge value to the students.
So the Olympics is about it's about what you've approached, and they want to see how much you've learned, how much you can do about the Olympics. So they want to see how good you are in actual sport. So they just want to see which country is the actual best.
The learners are from Kampala Community International School also benefited a moment with Olympian Jamila Lonkuse, who swam at the 2012 and 2016 Olympic Games.
So I swam in Uganda till I was
15, and then I moved to the UK. And then I went to like a swimming specific school. So it was mainly swimming and also schoolwork, but that's how I got better at swimming and then went to the Olympics.
The Uganda Olympic Committee was formed in 1950 with Uganda's first participation at the Olympics in 1956, with 11 medals accumulated from the games thus far. John Barnes, Sentamo, UBC News.
After suffering relegation in 2018, the Uganda will again compete at the Davis Cup this year from the 21st to 25th of June in Sickle, Kasese, DRC. 4 players have been selected to represent Uganda, as Latif Senyondwa was selected to join the ITF Under-16 camp in Kenya next month.
Frank Tayewa, Troy Ziwa, Paul Sekandi and Trevor Kaziwe will represent Uganda at this year's Davis Cup by Rook 10 Africa from the 21st to the 25th of June 2023 in Kinshasa, DRC. The players were flagged off today at the Uganda Olympic Committee offices by National Council of Sports representative James Kasumba.
So all of these ones are campaigns that are making us be able to access these international championships that are going to be a yardstick for our players to examine their success. And
Uganda is in Group 5 with Gabon, Congo, DRC, Tanzania, Burundi, Mauritius, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Djibouti, Lesotho, and Seychelles. Countries will play round-robin games in 4 pools, A, B, C, and D, with the winner of each pool proceeding to the playoffs and the overall winners being promoted to the Africa Group 4.
Presently, we're in Africa Group 5. We were relegated in the last group we played in Kigali last year. For us, this is the beginning of a journey of promotion. Our target is to be able to make it through to Africa Group 1, where the big boys play, so they say in recent speak. We do have the athletes that are helping us to rebuild. And key to that is that we have a much younger team even than before. And these players have come through our player pathway development system. So our target is not to avoid relegation, no. We're going in to compete, to get results and seek promotion.
On the other hand, 14-year-old Latif Sendioya will travel to Kenya for an ITF Under-16 Cup that will run from the 30th of June to the 25th of August 2023. Latif was invited to the camp by the Confederation of African Tennis together with the International Tennis Federation.
He was in Burundi for zonals tournament, which he performed very well. He reached finals competing against Ayush of Kenya. That was really very good. And then him traveling to AJC in Togo for Africa Junior Championships was a big blow for him as well.
Players are excited at these opportunities.
Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it clearly so that whenever I'm going to play the zonals, and I will be able to win for my country.
An individual, I expect to improve on my game because I'm going to play one of the best people out there representing their countries as well. So this is a very big thing for me, and being that I'm also representing Uganda.
Right now I'm feeling happy that I've made it on the Davis Cup team, and I'm going to use my effort in order to play very well so that I may maintain the confidence and come back again stronger.
We are going to give it our level best. We are going to fight as a team. You know, Davis Cup is not played by one person. We play as a team, and I'm sure with my teammates we are going to really fight, give it our best to see that we qualify to the next stage.
Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Yes, Winnie Birungi and Frank Tayewa defended. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, Winnie Birungi and Frank Tayewa defended the Uganda National Tennis Championship titles after triumphing in the Season 2 finals. The games were on the Sunday, 18th June 2023 at Lugogo Tennis Complex.
Birungi played aggressively than her opponent Atieno, striking the ball hard with pace and consistency, forcing Atieno to commit unforceable errors that gave Birungi an advantage to win 6-3, 6-2 in the women's final. In the men's final, Marvin Kiriwo started by breaking his opponent Tayewa in the first game, but Tayewa immediately broke back and purposefully varied his game with fast and slow shots while attacking the net. This left Kiriwo wrong-footed with a high unforced error count that led Tayewa to a 6-2, 6-2 win.
It feels good, you know, winning twice is not something easy. This one has actually been quite hard. People came in when they are ready to, you know, to challenge me, but thank God I managed to come up and win.
Actually, it has helped me a lot because I've been playing it and at the same time using it as my training tactics to the tournament that I was in Kenya.
In this championship, I've gotten some experience. I've improved on my play, like the way I play my forehand, backhand. Now I'm confident.
This year's UNTC Games started in February 2023 and registered over 200 players from the qualifiers through to the group stages, with 4 making it to the finals. Though the season had some challenges, the organizers appreciate the success in the tournament.
We experienced a very high level of tennis. Many of the players came in very motivated to grab this opportunity for a trip to France, and they gave it their all. We had a lot of rain delays, interruptions, because we usually schedule these matches for every weekend for a couple of months. And unfortunately for many of the weekends we had rains, but then we managed to catch up towards the end and squeezed many of the matches in the final stages of the scheduled time. We have had support from the Uganda Tennis Association. We have had some support from the National Council of Sports, who have allowed us to use the facility. As for the challenges, we have had a challenge like we did before of sponsorship. Generally, it has been tough on the budget side of things. We hope we can get more sponsors.
Tayewa and Birungi, as winners of this championship, will travel to France for 2 month camp at the Association of Famille Touquet Club. Grace Kemigisa, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thanking you so much for watching from wherever you are. My name is Michael Jordan Lukumwa. With the whole team here, wish you the best of the night. Good night and bye-bye.
The family of Jack Muchunguzi announces the untimely death of their father and husband, which occurred on Sunday 18th June 2023 at Nakasero Hospital. There will be a funeral service at All Saints, Nakasero. On Tuesday 20th June 2023, burial will take place on Wednesday 21st June 2023. Starting with a funeral service at 11 a.m. in the Renjero Biharo in Mbarara. Informed are His Excellency President General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the NRA, UPDF fraternity, relatives, friends and in-laws. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor.